Good morning, everybody, and welcome in. It's time to rise and shine and get the day started with the morning show of record for the Homestead community. It is the Farm2Table Direct Show Morning Edition. Well, good morning, everybody. Sorry, I am just a couple of minutes late. Good morning, Robbie. Glad to see you in. Uh, Sorry we missed you yesterday. We was about to send out a search party for you, but glad we got a message. You're having a Bible study on Thursday mornings, and that is a good thing. I apologize for being late, everybody. I was actually scrolling headlines and lost track of the time. I was looking for a particular headline. I'll talk about that in a minute. It is Open Chat Friday, the one day that the chat is the star. So hopefully everybody comes in this morning and has a chit chat and we can talk about things. But anyway, we're going to get right on into the Redneck Weather Report. So let's go on over there and see what Jack has to say this morning. Good morning, Scotty. Glad to see you in there. All right, let's see what Jack has to say.
Good morning, Rednecks. It is 23 degrees this morning, January the 24th, 2025. Got a 6 mile an hour south-southeast wind, making it feel like it's 16 degrees, but we're going to get to 54 degrees today. God bless y'all. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Well, sounds like things are nice and cold. Good morning, Joy. Glad to see you in with us this morning. All right. Well, what's the weather where y'all are at? I'm going to check mine right quick. I think it's a little bit, I don't think we quite got the temperatures that Jack's got going on here. My house, it says it's 19 and clear, wind gust up to 2 miles an hour. So it's pretty well, yep, feels like 20. So it's actually pretty much right on where it's at. And our high is 47. But anyway, so a little bit cooler than old Jack's got going on, but don't got that wind. Of course, Jack lives out in western Oklahoma weather, doesn't he? That southwest Oklahoma, that is nothing but wind. Uh, but anyway, glad to see you all guys in with us this morning as we get into Open Chat Friday. Just a reminder that this is Open Chat, live chat event, which y'all already know that are here with us. Hopefully, if you're watching later on, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you might want to talk about, or comments on what we talk about. Ooh, 24 and 18 and 18 there. Yep, it's all kind of hovering right in that same area, somewhere between 20 and 24 degrees, right in that area. So, you know, we're anyway. I'm ready for spring. I don't know about all y'all, but again, I want to apologize. We were a couple minutes late, a minute or so late getting started. I was searching out a headline, and I'll get that back. Well, I'm going to save that one for a comment here in a minute. But anyway, let's jump right on in for today's reality smackdown. Trump orders the release of all information on the JFK, RFK, and MLK assassinations. Anxious to see what that all might have to say. I know that about 99% of the JFK stuff was already out, but it's that little one, it's that little bit of that wasn't that, may have been protected by other things. So, anyway, that'll be interesting to see what that is. Trump unveils a landmark AI initiative called Stargate. Uh, we may get into a little chit chat about that later, especially if my brother gets on. He's got a little bit more uh, insight on that than I do presently. But anyway, I do know that it's ushering in a very interesting time here in the world, and so we will see. Uh, and School shooting in Antioch, Tennessee, happened earlier this week. Nashville, Tennessee, down in Nashville, Antioch High School. And I stumbled across. I get news headlines and stuff. With everything going on with the inauguration, with everything going on with Donald Trump and the weather, and I mean, just everything going on, it seems like that just didn't get that much attention. Or maybe it's just me, uh, but it just didn't seem like that headline got much attention. That we had another shooting. There was, I think, one killed and a couple injured. And then, of course, the shooter took their own life. It was a young teenage boy. And, there's a tragedy there that I hate to hear about. And I just don't understand. I mean, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, I'm sure, as far as, psychologists could probably break it all down. I mean, I've got my own opinions, but it's just, I don't know, this rash of school shootings that is is going on out there. Now, the headline that I was looking up that popped across my feed and then I couldn't find, and I had to search around and research it, had disappeared. Um, and that is uh, one of y'all's congressmen over there. I think it was Oakley, whatever. Anyway, one of your senators over there, Joy, uh, has proposed a third constitutional amendment which would allow Trump a third term. Uh, don't know how much traction that's going to get. Now's the time to do it. If you're going to do it, now's the time to do it. But what it read was basically that it uh, would allow a person to be elected 3 terms, but no more than 2 consecutive terms. So if you got your 8 years, then you got your 8 years. But like where Trump got 1 term and then lost and then come back as won a second term, it would allow him to do 2 consecutive terms. So I surprised, not surprised. Uh, I'll be more surprised if it carries through because that does require uh, uh, such a large voting percentage in the House and in Congress, and as well as the ratification of the states. So who knows? Might work, but I will be interesting to follow, see if it gets anywhere. You know, but so we'll see. That's the headlines today, though. That is the reality smackdown, the world we live in today. Anyway, let's jump on into this day in history and see what's happened in the past. Uh, on this day in 1848, January 24th, James Marshall finds gold in Sutter's Mill in Coloma, California. So the gold rush begins. The 1849, the 49ers all head out. So anyway, of course, it took a year for news to travel and people to get on the move, but they were on the road to gold rush in California. This day, 1908, Lieutenant General Robert Baden Powell publishes Scouting for Boys as a manual for self-instruction, outdoor skills, self-improvement. The book becomes the inspiration for the Scout movement. And I was part of Scouts, and so I understand who that is and what that book looks like. All right. This day, let's see, this one's a funny one. This day, 1922, the Eskimo pie, patented by Christian Kent Nelson of Iowa, not an Eskimo. But anyway, I don't remember having the old Eskimo pie. But anyway, that was a good treat. And speaking of treats, 1935 on this day, the first canned beer, Kruger's Cream Ale, is sold by American company Kruger Brewing Company. Yeah, canned beer. Anyway, just goes to show you little weird things in history. This day in history, 1940, The Grapes of Wrath, directed by John Ford, based on John Steinbeck's novel, starring Henry Fonda and Jane Darwell, is released. Uh, I had to watch that as a kid in school. Great movie. I mean, haven't watched it in years, but timeless movie, and I think just accurate of the times. 1984, Apple Computer unveils its revolutionary Macintosh personal computer in a Super Bowl TV ad directed by Ridley Scott. What if there's some work into that ad? Anyway, let's see. And I remember those old Apple Macs. A friend of mine had one. That thing was huge, had a big old 5-inch floppy disk, black and green screen. Funny. Anyway, let's see. 2006, Walt Disney International and Bob Iger announced it is buying computer animation film studio Pixar for $7.4 billion. And finally, in 2016, TV drama The X-Files returns after 13 years, reuniting lead actors David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson, produced again by Chris Carter. It was so popular they brought it back after 13 years of being off the air. But anyway, that is this day in history. And so here we go, getting ready to head into Open Chat Friday. So if there's any particular topic that anybody in the chat wants to talk about, feel free to drop a comment in the chat and we will head down that rabbit hole. But I'll back up to, I guess, the Stargate. Hopefully bro will jump in, but I don't. He had a hard day yesterday. He was working at it, so had houses he had to work on. But anyway, uh, yeah, let's see, Stargate. Yeah, that thing was. It's when I first seen the headline, I was like, okay, an Oracle's a part of it. stocks jumped real high, you know. But what it's basically is, it's $500 billion committed to build infrastructure for uh, in the United States for AI, uh, open source AI, and uh, a lot of pros and cons here with this stuff, because we're talking about a level of artificial intelligence that is beyond what most people honestly probably be comfortable with. I mean, we've got AI here. I use AI. There's a thing called Chat GPT, and I know there's another one called Grok. The Keith and I use it helps us with story writing. It helps us with, it's a tool. It helps us with artistic creation, things of that nature. And I know that's out there, and it's gotten better and better. But and it's a tool like that. But this open source AI, and which is part of that. But where they're wanting to take this, I mean, to the point that it will literally. We've seen movies about it, but I mean, it literally will be able to track. It'll be basically everywhere. They'll be able to track everything, uh, and they touted that it'll be able to do good things and like help law enforcement, help keep an eye on law enforcement, make sure they're doing right. And they'll be able to monitor what's going on with them. And of course, they'll monitor what's going on with us a little heavier than they already do, I think. But so a little concerned about that. But then there's conversation about the ability to cure cancer and other diseases using AI and what it will develop into, and people will live longer and healthier. Uh, I don't know. But then there's this whole thing with when you get into uh, deep space travel, you get into time. Scientists have come out now and said time travel is mathematically possible. Uh, and so I don't know what that's going to do, where this is all going to lead, but y'all can share your thoughts on AI and uh, what your feelings about where this could go. I mean, I've seen movies. We everybody thinks about Terminator first. That was the what happens when the machines take over, and then shows like I mean Minority Report out and all these different things where future crimes and where AI and other things like that. And like I said, Keith, we may talk about this you know a little bit more going forward, just simply because. I'm still trying to understand a little bit more about Stargate and its background. I think in the movie, uh, and of course that involves space travel and time travel, and a lot of other stuff. But the and I want to research it more because there's so much more to understand. Um, I'll tell you, and that news headline I read a while ago, Donald Trump, which he is. Listen, he's taking it right now. That's the news cycle. There's other stuff going on, but it is buried in the man. You got to dig through and find it because everything is what's going on with Donald Trump and the confirmations and uh, you know. Let's see what Robbie has to say. All right. He says, Robbie says, Wild Huckleberry, my big problem with AI is how much less and less we can trust what we see. I would agree with that because, I mean, the AI, what we call AI fakes, are, uh, you can do a lot with it. And uh, they can make imagery, they can create things, voice. I mean, there's a lot. And I mean, my little one that I have, my level I have on my phone, like I'll ask it to create a picture or uh, do an artistic creation. And I mean, it's amazing uh, some of the stuff that it can do. And I'll see if I can pull one up right quick. Anyway, see if I can pull one up right quick and let y'all see it. Uh, let's see if we can see this truck right here. I wanted to have a truck made, just an idea, a design idea for a custom truck. Now that looks pretty good. They drew that it created that picture. Now there's little details. Let's see if we, like there's the back end. There's little details like it'll misspell a word. It'll put things out to where we can't quite trust it. I'll see if I can find this other one right fast that I had it do. Yeah, okay. Was wanting to have it make a trophy design, all right, and it did that. So I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff that it can do, and of course, it helps us with writing and that type of stuff. But I agree. That's a concern. You know, especially in this world that we live in, where they could have evidence of, they could artificially fabricate somebody doing something or showing something like that, and I think it does create a trust issue with that. Good drink of coffee right there. Anyway, so yeah, I would agree. Trust is going to be a big issue. We already don't trust, especially when it comes to government and agencies and officials and things like that. And then you add in AI, what it can show us and make it less concerning. Um, so anyway, this Stargate thing, I'm not sure what it's going to turn into. It's I don't understand it all. I know that with Elon Musk's SpaceX and their push for deep travel, uh, you know deep space travel, and how much of this is going to be a part of that. Uh, and speaking of that, does anybody know what the deal is with getting to Mars? I mean, anybody got any thoughts on that? Why that's such a big deal? I mean, because I've been trying to figure it out. They've got a rover up there right now sending back imagery and sending back pictures and stuff. And so, I mean, we can get machinery up there. Now, getting humans up there is a different story. But I just don't understand the obsession. And my theory is that they have found something. They believe there's something up there uh, worth spending all this money and research to go get. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, a lot of times I feel like if you follow the money, you're going to find the truth. Um, but I just ain't quite figured it out because is all this to repopulate another planet? I mean, because many will say that our planet is not sustainable, and etc. My dog came to visit. Sadie, go lay down. Good girl. Outside. Oh, there's bro joining us. Hey, bro, I was just you kind of maybe I know it's a lot to try to do in chat, but this Stargate thing I was just talking about it and kind of the whole deep space, how it has to do with some of the stuff me and you were talking about, but I couldn't remember it all, and I didn't want to get too deep into it. And it may be something we do at a different time, but anyway, you know. But what I was just talking about, of course, and you were maybe listening, was about this push to get to Mars and deep space travel and why. What's the motivation behind this? Uh, is it I, I really, like I said, is there something up there that they're wanting to be able to go get? Some mineral, something that is just worth all this effort to get there, uh, and I just don't know the answer to that question. Um, but go lay down. Sorry, guys. Go lay down. Go lay down. But anyway, so you're just gonna hang out? Okay, you just hang out. But anyway, my dog been outside, come back in. She's just wanting attention. Anyway, so I don't know what y'all's thoughts are on some of that part of it, but for me, like all things, I mean, when you got these rapid changes, and I did a show on it where we're talking about all these things happening at one time: quantum computing, quantum, the quantum math, quantum computing, the AI development, augmented reality development, which I mean, even virtual reality, augmented reality, and what that's going to do, and where they want us to be. And, some of the things, this stuff they're saying with AI and these developments of AI. And he said it's hard to articulate it. Yeah. There we go. Let's see. Hard to articulate at this point, not enough information. I agree. But Keith says things were being played. And I think he might be right. Like I said, there's far more to it than just, oh, let's just, do it. Now, the speculation with the AI and the Stargate and everything is, AI is that, China's doing it. It's either we get ahead of it and we control it, or they're going to, and you know, so we want to have control of it. Now, that's about like the way we are. Keith and I were discussing yesterday that we don't trust either side of that deal. I don't know how many of y'all trust the government to be in charge of anything, but we certainly don't. Let's see, where do we go? Robbie, Wild Huckleberry. There has to be something there that someone thinks they can make a bunch of money on. What that is, it's hard for us to know. Yeah, and that's talking about the trip to Mars and that type of thing. And I think that, I'm with you on that. There's got to be something there that makes them want to get there so bad. And, clearly it's something, that they've got to be able to get there and get back. And there's just a lot of stuff involved with that I'm concerned with. Now, uh, anyway, Keith says, and this is what it is: study the origins of Stargate project, and it's because it is interesting when you have a name like that. And there's a back history on it. Keith and I, like I said, we're discussing some of it, and so much more to understand that to bring it out totally is probably wouldn't be responsible at this point for us. But you know, it's just where we're going in direction with the country. You know, um, you know, kind of waiting to see. We're trudging through the nomination process, so it is very difficult to see what's going to happen there as far as Department of Health and Human Services. We haven't even got to RFK Jr.'s nomination process. And so we'll see what happens there, as well as the USDA, the Secretary of Agriculture. Uh, what's going to happen there? I know this is a big switch. I just did a 180 from AI technology and Stargate and space travel to Senate confirmations of nominees for Trump's cabinet. But this is the Farm2Table Direct Show, and so if we're not talking about farm stuff, then uh, you know we'd be wrong. Anyway, so kind of curious to see what's going to happen there. I know they have been, some of Trump's early uh, executive orders as far as some of the people they've sent home, work from home, getting rid of certain, trying to clean things up. They did put a freeze, no more regulations until they get a handle on things and get their people in place. Uh, way too deep for this time of the morning, he says. Yeah, I would agree. Hadn't finished that first cup of coffee yet. You know, so yeah. So I said it's just that's the thing about Open Friday, and hopefully, I mean, is there something y'all want to talk about? We got several minutes left. I mean, because I can think of a lot of things because that's me, but something y'all have read or something y'all have heard or something I've said that it may be worth getting into. Let's see. Yep. Nope. 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 See, this is where it's fun. But anyway, so you know, we're kind of coming up this big sports weekend. For those who might like sports, the NFC and AFC championships going on this weekend. You got the Los Angeles Rams and nope. Yeah, let's see. Nope, they lost. You got the see, it's the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Redskins, and you got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills. So that's the four teams left. That's who's playing, and decide who's going to go to the Super Bowl. Now, I know not everybody here is sports fans like me, but you know, we'll see what happens this weekend. It'll be a good football weekend. We're running out of. Got three football games left this year, and it's on to basketball and baseball and all that stuff. So, and our basketball team here in Arkansas is off to a rough start this year. So we'll see how this season goes. But anyway, uh, let's see. Okay, I'll go back to that one. Trump orders the release of the RFK, JFK, and MLK assassinations. Kind of curious what we might learn, or if it's going to end up being much ado about nothing. How much of it is it going to be a bunch of redacted stuff where names are blocked out? You know, you learn but you don't learn kind of thing. It's going to leave people still speculating. I don't know. I'm curious. Like I said, the JFK portion. The original reason they didn't release the last of it was they said it would affect military and intelligence effectiveness, blah blah blah. Which to me was big old political mumbo jumbo speak for, yeah, the CIA or yeah, the military industrial complex may have been involved in it. We don't want to undermine their those agencies or whatever. But yeah. So we'll see. I'm kind of curious once it's all actually out. I know he signed the plan, but that still has to be done. So kind of curious about that. RFK, you know, yeah, that's true, Scotty. Probably not. They won't pay much on those, I bet. Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Like I said, what's gonna actually come out with that. Uh, let's see. Here we go. To what I was thinking. You release it, but how much do you actually learn from it? Uh, let's see. Here we go. I'm interested to see if people follow orders. Redact, redact, redact. Yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I figure there's gonna be a lot of black ink in there, you know, and so we'll see what's going into that. So I mean that's it. The MLK one, I'm interested in that one as much as any other ones of those three. All three are very interesting. Period of time in our country that was very rough and a lot of things going on. And I think it was a period of time that the political motivations and things of that nature, maybe even political ambitions, I don't know. So we'll see. Uh, Joy said, I'm more interested in who is trying to take out Trump. Uh, might not be the same people, like as in individuals, but it's still, Joy, I bet it's the same agencies. I bet it's the same organizations, uh, you know, that would be doing that. It's all tied. It's all linked. I mean, when you get down to it, and whole lot of people he's upsetting their apple carts, and they don't want him around. So I didn't want him in there to begin with, and don't want him there now. So uh, that'll be another can of worms. But one thing for sure, if he finds out who, he'll let us know. He ain't ashamed. He ain't afraid to get out and throw it out there like that. So I think if they know anything, uh, they'll tell. Yeah, you know what? You're right. He did. He kind of, of course, he was doing it for via video, but yeah, he kind of called some stuff out on the World Economic Forum yesterday, and he. He kind of pretty much laid it out there on the line with, like some of these banks. I know he was confronting them about kicking conservatives out of their banking, closing their accounts. I know he told, businesses around the world, you can come make your products here in the U.S. for the lowest tax rates, or you can make them outside the U.S. and you're going to pay a tariff. He kind of put them on notice. He was kind of being Trump, no doubt about it, from what little bit I've read and seen of it. But, so, and Joey, I, it's just interesting topic stuff when you get into that, and it's pretty well connective tissue if you follow it enough of it, and you know, like I said, is we got one side trying to take him out, and you got the other side trying to get it where he can have a third term. And I don't know how that's going to go. Like I said, when I read that headline, or when I was talking about that trying to get a congressional amendment, or a House rep, trying to get a constitutional amendment that would allow him a third term. Good morning in the kitchen and garden with Tracy. Good morning to you as well. Glad to see you jump on. You got some hot recipes ready to go. Going to get some cooking going on today, or is it day off in the kitchen? But anyway, so yeah, well, it is coming up on that 6:30 hour. We're right there, and on our 30-minute time. So we're going to go ahead and begin to wrap this up. I appreciate the chat, everybody, the interesting conversation this morning. Uh, anyway, so we'll get a little more lead into this next week. I think what I'm going to do is start, you know, maybe instead of open chat Friday, because that's not, everybody's in here participating. I want y'all to think. I don't want you. I'm grateful that y'all are here. Love y'all guys, especially the ones that are in every day. Well, every Friday should be a day off. I wish it was for me. Okay. Let me see. We'll go ahead and go a few minutes longer. I got a little bit of time. What's your opinion of getting out of the WHO? Um, I think it's good that we're out of it, especially because there's a financial obligation and um, the that it requires, as well as in being a part of that, you put yourself underneath their authority on a lot of things, and it can give them uh, authority over us as a sovereign country that I don't think we should give up. Um, so I think it's a good thing in the overall. Now, how long it's going to last, I don't know. As far as uh, till the next bad president, next bad administration comes in, takes us back in it, but. Uh, my personal opinion, it's a good thing, just simply because of the stuff that don't get talked about enough, and that is that when you join up with organizations like that, you put yourself under their uh, mandates and under their global mandates, and they want no borders, they want no individual sovereign governments, they want where those organizations like them and the World Economic Forum have total control over your policies and mandates, uh, and yeah, I want to go ahead and share that right there. Let's see. Not a fan of the WHO. They add panic during pandemics. Yeah, they are the pan in pandemics. And let's see. We've abdicated our sovereignty. Absolutely. And let's see. What have we got up here? Let's see. Let's see, Joe, I'm going to back up. Let's see if Joey popped one in there. Some countries setting up companies in the U.S. to avoid the tariff. Yeah, but we get them in other areas, I guess. But and we'll see how that works out. As far as avoiding the tariffs and as far as what they're doing, I think the idea is bringing jobs here. Because I think what he's probably going to try to get around is, you don't just set up an office and say you're here. Uh, I think it's, excuse me. But, we'll see what happens with that. We're going to follow that one and see. And, excuse me, Tracy said, one nation under one control is what they want. Um, and I would agree with that, Tracy. That is exactly what it is. They want, I seen a map that showed the 10 regions that they wanted everything in the world to be under 10 basically controlled areas. And so I don't know how accurate it was. It was just on something else. But, yeah, that's exactly what they want. And all we got to do is look over to the European Union and see exactly how that can go. Look at really dig into the World Economic Forum and the WHO and all them, what they're about, and you'll get a good idea of what that would look like for us. And it's not positive. And anyway, of course, talking about the tariffs and them setting countries up, it's more jobs for America. Uh, let's see, right, all right. One world government, no, thank you. And I am with you all on that. Keith asked me a question on a routine basis, and I'll, we'll put this out there as food for thought. But Keith, he'll ask me randomly, "Where do you want to be when it all goes down?" Uh, and which we kind of got to where we laugh about it a little bit now when he asks, because my answer is the same all the time. I want to be on my mountain. So it's where I feel is the safest place for me to be. Uh, but so yeah, we'll see. Where do you want to be when it all goes down? And that goes back to so much more of what we do here in the sense of um, putting information out. To be more self-sustaining, more self-reliant, to build community around you close, to have the ability to get food, grow food, have plans for your home, your energy, et cetera, preparing. Is there's a little bit of this behind that if it goes down or things go sideways, totally bad for us, then you have things in place, and the more community you have around you, the more friends you have around you in that sense, or people you know and trust, and they know and trust you, and the more food prep. Uh, I want to be in rural Arkansas. Well, you are in the right place, Robbie. I think you got. I'm assuming you're in the rural part of Arkansas over there. Yeah, it's it's what I said. I like the fact that I live in a place that I'm surrounded by a whole lot of Bubba. Uh, but uh, read into that what you want to. But anyway, so yeah. But anyway, we are over, and I do have to get out of the house here in about 25 minutes. So I've got to get up, finish getting ready, get my lunch packed, and all that. Get ready to head off to a day at the real job. And I hate. Let's see. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and drop this one up here, Tracy. Let's see. Checks and balances come from mixed ideas. Improvement and growth from iron sharpening iron. Absolutely great comment. You know, uh, and it does take that, and I think we ought to be able to, the time. I'm hoping we can bring back the time of civil discourse. We can disagree with each other. We can have different views, but we all have a common goal, which is the improvement of America, continuing to support each other. Even if we disagree on how to get there, or if we just disagree altogether, but we'd be okay with it. And through that, we can all grow and listening to each other's ideas and thoughts. And so, thank you very much for that, Tracy. I agree. All right, hey, Keith, I'm going to finish it up on that one. Self-reliance is the new BMW status symbol of status. Dave Ramsey, but I don't know if he will agree or not, but I agree. Let's wrap this up. Thank you, everybody, for jumping in on the chat. And let's wrap this up. We got upcoming events real quick. February 21st, 22nd, Homesteaders of Iowa Expo 2025, Bridgeview Center, Ottawa, Iowa. I know Monty Shrunk, the Suburban Sodbuster, is going to be there, and a couple of some other good speakers and good vendors. So if you're in that area up there in the north, maybe put that on your schedule. March 21st, 22nd, creeping closer every day. Oakey Homestead Expo, Mays County Fairground, Pryor, Oklahoma. Tickets on sale now, $50 two-day pass. April 25th and 26th, the Shindig Ozark Living Expo, Newton County Fair and Rodeo in Jasper, Arkansas. June 6th and 7th, the Homestead Festival at Hardison Mills near Columbia, Tennessee. $75 general admission, kids 6 to 17 is $25. Jumping forward, Ozark Homestead Expo, Marshfield, Missouri, September 5th and 6th. General admission $50 for a two-day access. Kids 13 to 17, $15, and kids 12 and under free, but must have a ticket. And then we'll jump to the end of it. Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous, McAllister, Oklahoma, September 26th and 27th, $15. And I know that's the adult price. I'm not sure what the age cutoff for the younger ones are. I will find out. But you can go to Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous on Facebook, or go to oklahomahomesteadrendezvous.org. Then in October 11th, 12th, Homesteaders of America Conference 2025, Front Royal, Virginia. Tickets are still on sale, but they are running out. $50 for a two-day pass, and the speaker lineup is outrageous. Now, in the bottom of our comments, you will find a couple of links in the description. And now Keith is putting them in the chat. The first one is how to find and source local food. It's a very informative PDF. And then the other one is buy local grocery. And this is lists and stuff. So both of these are in the description down below. They are there to help. And they're there as a tool. So feel free to go click on those, check them out, read them, and see what you think about those. But anyway, tools to help you, and that's just down in the description, so you can check that out. That is a wrap today on the Farm2Table Direct Show, morning edition. Thanks everybody for joining in. We talked some headlines, we talked about stories impacting us, and got into some opinion and chat today. It was very much appreciated. If you enjoyed today's show, and also don't forget to hit the like button. Please share it out with your friends. Subscribe to the channels, Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. That is the Farm2Table Direct Show. Farm2Table Direct Show. It is the best way to stay connected, help grow the conversation about food, farming, and community. One other thing that's coming Tuesday, Keith and I will be talking more about self-reliance and the self-reliance scale that we put out, and how ways you can get there as we develop that show about being more self-reliant. That will be this coming Tuesday, 7 o'clock. I will be back Monday morning, Lord willing. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. I will be back Monday morning at 6 a.m. To get back on another week of the Farm2Table Direct Show Morning Edition. I do appreciate all the support everybody has sent, being here, chiming in, comments, and everything. So anyway, we'll be back with that Monday. Hope you all have a blessed weekend. Hope you all have a great weekend. Stay dry, stay warm. And enjoy a good weekend. My plan is I want to get back in my kitchen. But anyway, enough of that. But anyway, y'all have a great weekend. Until next time, keep your roots deep, your vision growing. Good food starts with great people. And remember, we are #stronger together. Be a blessing to someone today, and we will see you on the other side. And now we'll send this over to our good
No humans were harmed in the production of this podcast.